We are live. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a nice day, despite the rain, and then despite the snow. How's everybody? I see there's 3 people here, so I'm going to leave it for a few minutes, and then I'll do a quick recap on my Aliens vs Predator survival movie concept. A concept that is not a sequel to the past movies. It's not related to them in any way. It's a separate thing. Kind of like another story somewhere in the universe, set in the way future, and there's literally no humans. No Marines, sorry. So I'm going to get into a recap very soon. If I sound off, it's because I feel a bit ill today. So I'm not going to be probably as enthusiastic. But I'll try my best. So I'm just going to leave it for a minute or so. And then I'll do a quick recap of part 1. Just to keep you up to speed, and then get into the second part. There's going to be a third part because there's just too much detail to stick into an hour or an hour and a half of this. I want to get the ideas across, some slight details. So I'm going to try and stretch this out to at least three parts. And I've done a few more sketches. People seem to like the sketches. They're not very good. They're good enough. So okay, right. We'll get into a recap. So part 1 of this. Well, it began on an almost dull planet. And then we see a group of humanoids, not humans. Group of humanoids on a planet, and they've just caught some sort of winged beast. They throw down a well. They probably keep it for food or hunting, but they're very primal. Then we see facehuggers come out of nowhere, and it wreaks havoc amongst this one little village. Now, you've got to assume that this isn't just the only village. It's like a whole civilization. So you see the two of the facehuggers go on to normal humanoids, and the other one goes into the well. And as you can guess, it facehuggered the winged beast. So something's coming later on. Then it cuts to the Predator's ship. So many years down the line, and we're in space, and there's 3 captured bad blood predators. So as they're about to go through a space rip, the bad blood predators escape their hold, and they divert the ship away from the rip, damaging the ship because it just cuts the edge. And while causing a load of havoc, they plot another course to an unknown planet, but they seem to know where it is, and they open up a rip and go through. They kill the predators on board, apart from the Yautja leader, who barely escapes while in the atmosphere of the planet that they've just arrived at. As the ship goes into distance, as it's falling, the escape pod for the Yautja, crashes into the water while hitting rocks on the way down. These large structures, which bits go flying everywhere. So they're not far away from the shore, so these bits are everywhere. Yautja escapes before it's drowned, gets to the shore and faints, wakes when it hears screeching. Now the only barely working tech it's got, it's his mask. And he can't attach it to his face. He just holds it, and it can only recognise sound because there's no vision. It's completely damaged. I forgot to mention that he also set a distress signal before he got into the pod, but I should have said that earlier. So yeah, recognizes the sound as xenomorph, hordes heading towards the crash of the big ship, of the main ship. So the Predator's got no tech. It's got literally nothing. Nothing works. It looks scared, frightened. It can't do without its tech. The Predators are they're lost without their tech because of how many years they've done with their tech. So he's got no tech. Tries to make its way inland towards the pickup points because there's a rescue, but they can't find him because all he's got on him is a timer, so they can't pick that up. He has to get to the pickup point, which is the crashed ship. Along the way, he's met by multiple facehuggers, and the only thing he's carrying with him is this broken shard rock, and he slashes and stabs at the facehuggers, realizing that their blood does not melt this specific rock. It's resistant. So now he feels like he has weapons. So as he's being chased by more facehuggers, he stumbles into a village, and you'll quickly realize that this is the village that you see at the beginning of this story. He gets out of the line of sight of these facehuggers and dives down the well. As he dives down the well, the facehuggers don't know where he is, so they presumably just run ahead trying to find him. So he just waits. While he's down there, he finds the victim of a facehugger, which is the winged beast. So he sees the winged beast, realizing that there's something new out there. After a while, he climbs out, and he looks around to survey the area, and he realizes that the xenomorphs have been bursting out the chests of the civilization in this village. But he stumbles across clothing that does not burn with the acid. So he sees a body with a dead xenomorph that's been there for years, and even though the body's molten away, the clothing isn't. So he realizes that he has to grab all the clothing, and he starts to fashion his own, not armor, but protection against acid. So he literally covers himself in this stuff, and he also uses this stuff to create his own weaponry. He fashions his own weaponry to his own liking. So on the last stream, I showed images of his main weapon, which was 2 long shards either side of his arm that he can grip onto and use as arm slashing weapons. He also has blades that he sticks in his, in his belt. So now he feels like he's ready. And at the end of that stream, I left it there. He was ready. He felt ready. So I did promise that I would do some drawings. So if I go here now and show you what the Predator could look like in this. This is just a concept. So are you ready? Here we go. So this is the concept. So it's totally different to what you'd expect from a Predator, but he literally has to cover himself up. So he's used his skills to fashion this together. He still has his mask, but he's got the cloth crisscrossing over it to keep it on his face. So he can see through because he's taken out the glass-like visors because it's useless. So he can still see through, but the sound can still be heard through the mask, so he can still decipher sound. So you can see that he's wearing garb over his legs. He kind of looks like a Mortal Kombat character. So I've kind of got inspiration from ninjas or samurai, how they cover themselves over to stop like blades from literally slicing flesh. So it's that kind of thing. But this stuff, it's not slash proof. It is just acid resistant. But he's covered himself over. He's got it wrapped around his mask. He's got the hood. So he's literally covered everything. He has his weapon here. He's got the weapon here that he slips his arm through the middle and then grips it here. So it's pretty sturdy. Oh, don't show that one yet. Slip. There's a bit of a slip there. Oh. So here we go. I'm going to get into just after where I left it. So he's now running away inland. He's running inland towards the ship where he needs to be rescued. He's probably got like half a day to go. So there's not long. There's literally miles to go, and there's xenomorph everywhere. So as he's going in, he's following kind of like a track. He recognizes something. So as he's going in, he comes across a covered wall, and as he shifts like some vine or grass or whatever out the way, he sees that it's not just any wall. It's a metal wall, but it's been there for years, so it's dirtied. It's a bit rotten. But he recognises symbols that are scratched into there. As he's reading the symbols, it would show a little translation on the screen. So it'd say, there'd be symbols that would translate to renegades, or there'd be other things like death to Prime. Prime is their homeworld. So he's looking around, he's seeing more annihilation and things like that. And as he's going in, he comes across like something like a disguised rock face, but as he pushes into it, it's more like a door that goes up and in. And as it opens up, he realizes that this is more like a camp, like a basic camp, a hidden camp. Walks in there, it's all dirty. There's vines going through it, and there's rock coming through the floor. And in the middle, in the center, there's a dashboard. And he walks over to it, and it's barely useful. So he activates the dashboard, and minor holographic symbols are coming up, and he brings up a surveillance. Brings up like a surveillance, like a screen. So he brings up this screen and tries to get it working. So he's hitting it like you'd normally do. Say if your buttons on TV don't work, you give it a tap. So he keeps doing that. Eventually it starts working, and the hologram comes up, and it shows zoomed in footage of the humanoids that were there before running away, being taken by xenomorph. Some of them have got face huggers on. Some of them are trying to fight back. And you actually see the one that the predator finds with the cloth on. You actually see him run and stab a xenomorph through the chest and you see the acid fall onto him and die. So you see that. So then you realise that happened. My phone's going off again. Hang on. Got to stop this midstream now. Can you believe it? Oh, go away. Snooze. Right, it's back. So yeah, you see all this, and he's looking at it. So he sees the xenomorph carrying face-hugged humanoids, and some that are not, but they're trying to struggle, and some that are being killed. So he decides to log in and go further back. He goes further back, and he sees footage of xenomorph being released. Sorry, not xenomorph, facehuggers. Sees facehuggers being released. They're being dropped, and he recognises that the people that are dropping these facehuggers off are the 3 bad blood predators that he captured earlier. So he realises there's something up here. So he sees that happen, and before he could go any further, a massive spike, wooden-like spike, hits the dashboard, exploding it, and he backflips backwards, lands back, and he's looking up, and through the vent, through the vent to see the leader of the Bad Bloods. So he's now there. The Bad Blood that was there literally survived the crash and is now there at this hidden location, at this Bad Blood location. And he's there, and the Bad Blood's got he's got that smirk on his face, and he's looking at him from a height. So, the Bad Blood jumps down and starts walking towards the Yautja. And he's walking like very smug. Now, he looks a bit battered because he's just been in the crash. But he looks very smug. And this is where it gets to on-screen translation again. So as he's walking towards Bad Blood, the Bad Blood would say to the Yautja, "There is no escape. You will die, and Prime will be next." So the Yautja kind of like retaliates and goes, "You will never take down Prime." And the Bad Blood laughs and then says, "I don't, but they will." And he points to the dashboard, and it's got flickering image of the xenomorph running around outside, just like havoc. And Yautja looks back at the Bad Blood, and he says, like, are you going to unleash these on Prime? You're going to unleash these onto Prime, aren't you? And the Bad Blood says, we will take them all, and like a plague, they will kill everyone, and we will take over Prime. We meaning the Bad Bloods, ending the Yautja traditional rule. At this moment, the Yautja is kind of pissed. So he would literally leap towards a Bad Blood, but the Bad Blood would leap towards him. So they lock up. They would slash at each other, because you got the slashing rock of the Yautja, and you have the slashing blades of the Bad Blood. So he's literally got the weapons from the ship. So he's got what he could, which was the typical blades. So they're both slashed, but they grab each other's arms. So they're grabbing each other, and just like a face-to-face, they're growling and snarling at each other. So a big fight breaks out. So they push each other off, and they're slashing, and they're dodging the blades and the stone, and they're kicking each other and slamming each other into walls. And the commotion it's like actually alerting Xenomorph from around the area. So as they hold each other across the neck, ready to slash at each other, they hear the hissing in the background. They hear it. As they both look towards the vent where the Bad Bloods come from, they hear the Xenomorph, like you hear like the tampering of the metal, and they're coming through. So they both look at each other, and they both separate. They push each other off, and they both go their separate ways. So they've gone their separate ways. We follow the Yautja, burst through the front door again, basically knocking it off. So he's just literally took it all off, and he's trying to run in a different direction. So he's running, and he's running across this hollow floor. It's like a very flimsy floor, and he's trying to keep balance, but he's also trying to look back, and he sees like the Xenomorph like through the broken door in the distance now, and he stumbles and falls. As he falls, he's actually breaking through the floor. So as he breaks through the floor, and because it's really flimsy, he's falling down, and he's hitting all this intertwined, fragile rock on the way down. So he's crashing through, and he's hitting himself on the way down, and he eventually hits the floor of this cavern, and he's kind of lying there on his side, and bits and bobs of broken floors hitting him, and he's trying to get up because he thinks he's still being chased, but there's nothing around. So he's getting up, and he's trying to shake himself off, and as he's looking around, he's looking, but he's kind of like he knows what he's looking at. He's like, uh-oh. And now we see that familiar look, that structure of caverns that we see in Aliens. It's like the alien resin from the hive. And we see loads of these entrances and exits, like caverns that go into different tunnels. And he can't go back up because there's nowhere to climb up. So he's got no choice but to be steady and make his way in to try and find an escape. So he's walking through, but as he's walking through, there's nothing around. So he's kind of worried because there's nothing around. He can't see nothing, but he can hear like sound. The mask deciphers a sound. So him being curious, he kind of goes towards what this sound is. He needs to know what this possible threat is. So then, as he turns a corner, well, not a corner, it's like a round bend, he stops. And he's like, instead of being ready, he stands there shocked. And he looks into what can only be described as the hive, the center of the hive. And we can see hundreds of these alien eggs. There's hundreds of them. And the cave is massive. This cavern is massive. It's just like, it looks like the center of this cavern. And you can hear like a slime, and he looks into distance, which kind of looks like the center of this massive cavern, this hive. And he can barely make out that it looks like something is massive, but kind of wrapped, kind of like cocooning itself. And we don't know what it is. But I think us as the viewer, we know. So you hear, he kind of like does his knocking noises, like like he does, and because he's curious, and all we hear is the coming from this cocoon, and the top of the cocoon opens up. But before I get to that, I'm going to show you the drawing that I kind of let slip. So this is what the Yautja would see. This is what he would see. I'm not going to stand there and draw literally hundreds of eggs. So you're going to, have to use your imagination. So this is what he would kind of see. A cavern full of eggs and something kind of cocooning itself way back near the center. So as you can see, there's loads of other entrances and exits. And he's just standing there, shocked. So this thing in the center would unravel the top end of the cocoon. And it would be the xenomorph queen. It's a xenomorph queen. And she looks right at the Yautja. It's like she sensed it there. Because the predator didn't make enough sound to awaken anything. But the queen sensed it there. And it opens its mouth right at the Yautja. And the Yautja's like, kind of like, holy shit. And it would do some, like, it would open its mouth, the queen, and do the old, while moving its head around. And we would see the closest eggs to the Yautja start to open. And the Yautja looks down and goes, oh crap. And it knows what's going to happen. So you see the facehugger starting to come out. So then the Yautja has no choice but to run back. It starts to run back, but it doesn't know where it's going. It's just trying to run away. And you hear the queen start screeching as if it's signaling to get the Yautja, get the being. It's so the Yautja's trying to escape. He doesn't know exactly where it's going. He's just trying to trying to get away from these facehuggers. So the facehuggers are literally running up and round the walls, and they're gaining ground. So the Yautja would try to look and study the like the ceiling, and there would be openings, and he would come across this one opening where there's kind of like light shining through, so he would know that it's the surface, but there's no possible climbing way up. The only way he could get up is if he literally does a bit of parkour, which would be jump on a wall, leap off that wall onto another wall, and then hopefully jump upwards onto what looks like a dangling sharp rock coming from the ceiling. So there's a few of these dangling rocks coming from the ceiling, but there's one that's like that's lower, so he could possibly grab it. So he looks back, sees the facehuggers gaining ground, and you can see him now. When he's running, he also gets into a proper like burst. You can see him burst into a run. So he's literally got all of his energy into this run. So he runs up a wall, jumps from it, clings onto the other side of the wall, which is about, I'm going to say about 10, 15 feet. So he's literally forced himself onto this. So he's leaped, and now he clutches on and then jumps up towards this dangling sharp rock. And he just about grabs it. So you'd see it in slow motion on screen. He'd jump and just about grab it with his claws. And he'd be hanging off literally the end. So he's grabbing off the end. So he seems he's just about to scratch off. But then he looks down and sees that the facehuggers could just crawl up the walls. So he's got no choice but to crawl up. And then he sees the familiar looking fragile Swiss cheese looking rock, and he's climbing up this dangling spike, and he's breaking through while clinging onto the rock. So he breaks through, and the facehuggers jump after him. So they jump in, and they can't reach. So he's escaped them, and he's crawling through. He just about gets up to the surface, and he breaks through to the surface, and he crawls through, and he's literally knackered. So he crawls, gets out the hole, and he thinks that's it. He looks down, and the facehuggers aren't following anymore. And he's thinking, okay, I've probably escaped. So he stands up, and then he looks around. He's just standing there, and his mask is going mental. It's deciphering sounds around him, literally around him. And he's looking left, looking right. The way you'd see it on screen is the camera's like rushing around him as he's turning one way. Then he's going around the other way as he's looking one way. And because he's on this fragile ground, along the outside the ground is like rock. And there's patches of this fragile rock around. So he's trying to move, but it's cracking underneath him. So he can barely move. But around him, there's sturdy rock. But along the sturdy rock, it's you hear things tittering. But it's happening all around him. He looks around, and then he suddenly gets into a ready stance. He pulls out daggers, pulls out a dagger with the hand, and he's ready with his handmade double rock blade. And then also we see an alien head. We see one, like come over one rock, and he's there ready for him. And then he looks around, and there's another one, and then another one around the other side, and then he looks all around him, and also he's now surrounded by xenomorph. He's now surrounded by xenomorph looking at him from over the rock, and he's thinking, oh, holy crap, I'm surrounded. So I've actually drawn a picture of this. I've done a sketch. This is my last sketch, because I'm going to try and end it here, because I need to do more on the third part. So this is where I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to try and go into more detail in a bit. I'll probably go back. So I'm going to show you this image, and this is what I see. So I drew this today, and I drew it while I was at work when you're not supposed to. So I drew this, and you'll see that it's kind of looking above him. So the predator's there, ready in stance. You can see the hole next to him on the floor, on the fragile floor. And on the rock, you see all the xenomorph. So they're all ready, all surrounding him. So he's thinking he's done for here. But this is the moment he was kind of anticipating. He was anticipating this because he literally covered himself in this acid-resistant cloth and with the fashion weaponry. And it's something he was prepared for. Now, this xenomorph, this Yautja is kind of... My backstory with him is he's been in kind of situations like this before. So but this is when he had tech. Now he hasn't got the tech, but he's gained the confidence in his own instinct to not only defend himself, but to literally take on all of these xenomorph. This wouldn't beat all the xenomorph. This is only just part of the overall infestation of this planet. So you can kind of guess that he's in for a battle. So there you go. So he is now ready to take on the xenomorph and not worry about being splashed with their acid for blood. So he can literally just fly around. But even though his face isn't covered, he's still got that mask that's strapped on. So that's what the hood is for. So he can evade as much as he can. So when he fights these, he's going to start using more skill. He's going to have to use his instincts, his skills, and try to at least take these out while trying to get to the pickup point of the crash ship. So how does everyone like these sketches? I'm not very good at shadowing. I'm good at doing hardline. So I try to put as much detail as I can in these so you can kind of gauge what I see. So I'm hoping that you can actually see what I see, and it gives a perspective as well. It's good to look at so you can see that there's aliens in the foreground looking towards him from above, and aliens in the background, and then he's down in the center. If I go back, it's like perspective again. You're looking behind him, looking into the hive, the main hive, the xenomorph hive, with the hundreds of eggs going into distance with the queen in the background. So you can see here that he's actually standing in one of the tunnels. Now, there's a few tunnels you can see here. There's more around the edges. So yeah, so I could literally end the stream here and do a third and final part next week, so I can get into a bit more detail on the on how he gets away from these and what happens next, because the bad blood is still around. The bad blood leader is still around, so they're going to meet up again. But it's kind of at that point now where you kind of know now why this planet got infested in the first place. The bad bloods found this planet in the middle of literally nowhere in the universe because they're so primal. It's like there's no technology there. There's no metal there. Very, very, primal age. And the Bad Bloods have literally used this planet as as basically like a breeding ground for the xenomorph. And the plan that they have, that you can see now, is they were going to let the xenomorphs infest the planet, take over any being that's there, any humanoid, and literally infest the planet. So the whole planet is infested with these things. And the plan was to pick up xenomorph, the queen, the eggs on a holding ship, make their way to Yautja Prime and just unleash hell on Prime. So basically they were going to let the xenomorph do all the dirty work, weaken the Yautja to a point where, you know, the Bad Bloods can just swarm in and just clean up shop, and then have Prime for itself, wiping out the Yautja rule and bringing in chaos. So that would be the twist for this. This is why the Bad Bloods chose to escape to this planet at the beginning. It's the reason why the planet's infested. It's the reason why the facehuggers were unleashed. You know who done it. And basically the bad guys of this concept is the Bad Bloods. So I think it's a good way to introduce the Bad Bloods, being so different to what we know of the Predator on screen. What we know, how kind of honourable they are. So it's a new thing that's being brought in, showing what they are, as well as having the lead Yautja have no tech, rely on instinct. You see him lost without his tech, and then eventually grow to know his own instincts. He taps into his own instincts and then becomes more confident with the weaponry he's made and the acid resistant clothing, and then finding out the reason why this planet is the way it is and why the Bad Bloods went here. So there you have it. So for the people that are here late, I'm going to go back and show you what this Predator looks like again. So there you go. So Predator Ninja. Ninja Predator. I mean, come on. I mean, Predator's already a Mortal Kombat character now, isn't it? Technically. It's just a concept. It can be improved on. But I felt that I didn't want to do it too much. He's not there to make a fashion statement. He's there just to make things practical. He can still move. He's kind of padded it out, so just in case he has to run into things, and you know, if he runs and moves and it tears through normal movement, it's no good. So it's a bit loose, but it's still tight in areas where it can stay on him. But there you go. So it's a different look to what we know of the Predator, especially without tech. He's literally covered himself in this acid-resistant cloth. So, Mortal Kombat Predator. Yeah. Looking good. Thanks, Mark. Mano, Ninja Predator. I will watch that. I would definitely watch it because I'm the one that come up with it. You're a good man. You should make a comic book. Well, this is the thing. I mean, I'm good at doing sketches here and there, but I don't really have the patience to do like comic books. I used to when I was younger. I used to do loads of little small pictures and then do little books when I was younger. But yeah, it's I just do sketches on A4 now. Possible was it Mano? Possible MK Predator like in 11. I don't think they'll bring the Predator back. I think they're just like a one and done. Especially when it comes to Mortal Kombat, they do one and done. There's no I don't think there's ever been a returning guest character. But if there was to do something like this, then, you know, they'd have to go through the backstory of why he's wearing what he's wearing. So as I go backwards. Mark, oh, I made it. I'm just going backwards. Sub-Zero Predator. Vasi, Dave, you are very talented. I cannot draw at all. I do my best. It's all from memory as well. I don't have any reference at all. It's like my girlfriend was here watching me draw this, and she was looking at me going, shaking her head going, how can you do that? It's like, well, I just picture it in my head and I put it onto paper. And then at work today, I had to quickly draw this up. You're not supposed to draw it while on the machines, but, you know, every now and again, I'd go back to it and do a bit more. And then I'd do my work and then I'd do a bit more. But I had the image in my mind. I knew what I wanted. I'd like to have drawn more alien, like in the background. But I thought, I don't want to bug the whole image out that it just gets way too much. I think this was enough. He's just literally surrounded by xenomorph. So, got all these sketches. Now, I might put all these sketches on my Twitter. Because I don't think I've done that yet. I haven't done that yet since the last stream. So what I'll do, I'll put a few compilations up of my sketches, and I'll put a few hashtags down. AVP, Aliens versus Predator Survival, AVPS. I'll tag in AVP Galaxy. I'll tag Mr. H. I'll see how he likes these because he said he wanted to see these. So try to get these streams seen. See if it sparks interest. You know, a story that's different. Definitely different from what we've seen of the Predator franchise, the Alien franchise, as well as the AVP franchise. It's putting the Predator in a different situation. And I know people are going to say, Alien fans are going to say, oh, we're using the aliens for fodder again. Well, it's like the aliens just, you'll never get rid of them. They are literally forever. They are still dangerous. And I haven't even got to the bit where they get their moment yet. So they still get a moment. But this concept is one of just many thousands of possibilities. Many, you know, there's so many paths you could take with these two creatures crossing over. And I just come up with this concept many years ago, as I do with everything else. And then I'll write it down. And then it's only recently that I've just got the confidence to talk about it online to the interwebs, to the fans and people that just want to hear me and this dreaded Brummie accent. I do try my best. I try my best to speak English. Drinking my chai latte. It's very nice. Behave in the chat or else. What's people talking about? Vasi, Manubra, yeah. Hail Mark. Ahoy, ahoy. Yeah, there's a few people that stay within a little group of people that watch different live streams. We all kind of stick together. So we all kind of watch each other, and I'm waiting for Vassie to do her. She's got a video coming soon, she says, going over, what is it? Oh gosh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You're doing like a thing with that, your first video. So be looking forward to that. So make sure you follow Vassie for that one if you're a fan of the Marvel verse. There you go. Marshmallow, do you have an Instagram with your work? I have an Instagram. I do need to put these on there as well. I mainly put Mortal Kombat stuff on there. I've got videos of me doing some martial arts moves on there. So I will put my sketches on there soon if people want them on there. My Instagram is David Savage 1982. So that's David Savage 1982. If people want to have a butch on there. Mark, chai latte. I'm more into double. What is it? More of a double person myself. Double. What's a double? No idea. That's it. My video is up. Right, I'll be checking that out later. Never mind. You mind. I'll be checking that out. Give you the views. Put in chat. Is that the video or my Instagram? I don't know. I don't know what that's in reference to. Marshmallow. I think it's because that's the Mr. H community is good. That it has empowered a few of us to start our own channels. It's why I started this. So me doing this now is his fault. It's totally his fault. He does like every Friday he does a members calling, and I thought, I'll just do a calling and put a couple of questions to him, and people reacted to me quite well, and I thought, I found nervous at the beginning, and then I just carried on, and I thought I could be myself, doing my own thing on here, and just talk about what I want to talk about, and get my movie ideas onto here. Because Mr. H has his own website, which is Production H Films, and on there is a forums for members, and I've done a few of my own articles on there, and one of them is Riddick X Predator. It's a crossover, and my first stream was talking about that. Oh, Instagram link. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Instagram. Right, here we go. So if I copy, go back here, and then put the link here, and then send that. So there we go. There's my link to my Instagram. So I don't know if you click on that now, you're going to come off this. So I don't know how it works. So that's my link to my page. I've done a few things on there, a few picture edits on there, as well as me doing some crazy martial arts stuff. So yeah, go back to my thank you. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, my movie ideas on Production H Films. I have about 4. I think it's 4 in there. So you got Riddick X Predator, and then you've got this one, which is my AVP concept. But here, when I'm talking about it here, it's more detail. So in an article, it's just enough to make you read it and get interested. There's not a lot of detail. So I thought doing it here, I can expand on details. So if you want to join Mr. H's website, which is Production H Films, you can join the forums and literally do your own articles, and you'll see mine on there. And give them a good read and see how you think. I've got others like a sequel to the Universal Soldier franchise before they're done with that one. There's like a closing sequel with that one just to complete that story. There's another one where, if you've ever seen the film Warrior with was it Tom Hardy? The MMA film. I've done a sequel to that, but again, it's not related to the story of the first one. It's another story, but still revolving around the MMA tournament. So it's a new MMA tournament, but with different people. And I've actually got like Scott Adkins involved in this story, as well as Michael Jai White, because them pair, you cannot separate them pair. They're just too good together in films. So them pair of friends, and they both enter into the same tournament, and one gets jealous of the other when one realizes that they could potentially fight each other. So I'll leave that there. So things go tits up with that friendship. So there's a few on there. But coming back to Alien versus Predator, again, when it comes to comics, I've not read any of the comics, just from what I've known from watching YouTube channels and from what people have told me. That there's a comic similar to this one, where a predator is on a planet, and there's xenomorph everywhere, and he has to survive. But when he gets the chance to leave, he decides not to. He finds it invigorating that he could keep killing, keep hunting. So he decides to stay there. But that predator has all of its tech, so the confidence was always there. But me not being a comic reader, I did not know that story existed when I did this one. I had literally no idea. This story that I have literally revolves around a day and a half, whereas in the comics, I think it's years, isn't it? Months, years. Marshmallow, that's a great film. Tom Hardy is good in that. It's hard to tell if he's acting or if that's just him. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell. He's the bad boy. But first time I ever saw him was in Star Trek Nemesis. And to remember him the way he was there, skinny little boy, to seeing him in Warrior, it's a bit of a change. It's a shocking change. So yeah, you don't know if it's him, but I mean, good film. It's not just a fight film. It's got a story there, which is why it did really well. I'm surprised it didn't spawn any spin-off stories. They can still do it, which is why I come up with a Warrior 2, which is a spin-off sequel. Mano, I watched AVP more times than T2 or X-Files. It gets a lot of crap, but I enjoyed it for them bringing the aliens and the predators together. It could have done with a bit more gore, but I could see why they wanted to appeal to a wider audience and bring more people in to get more eyes on it. It's just a shame that they decided to do that, because I think that if they'd have had the gore factor in there, it'd have a longer run and it'd be more appreciated. I think they were thinking short term with it too much. We need more people to see it now, instead of thinking long term. See, when it comes in cinemas, people have to think long term. They can't just go for the big boom and then have word of mouth go that, oh, it's not that good, and then it dies off. It needed that longevity. If it would have had more gore in there, I reckon it would have been accepted more, and it would have got a bit more praise. Marshmallow. There's another called The Fighter and another one called Wrestling, I think. Oh, Wrestler. I think that's Wrestler with, I forgot his name. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. That well-known old actor that's had a load of plastic surgery. I can't remember his name. Yeah. I enjoyed that being a wrestling fan. It was interesting to see a rundown wrestler trying to keep on top, and he's just being run down. And then his final move is him having a heart attack. Another one you're on about. The Fighter, I haven't seen. Is that the one with Christian Bale? I can't say I've seen it. Vasi, I like AVP as well. I like it more than the second one. The second one, you have to turn up the contrast on your TV. It's literally dark. Someone turned out the lights. Vasi again. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? What's happened? Oh, it's shut down. AVP gets dunked on a lot. It does. And I think it's just because of gore factor. Not a lot of gore. You see a few chest bursters and a bit of blood here and there, but you don't really see any like violence that we want to see. We want to see people get ripped to shreds. And I think if we would have had a few humans get in the middle and then getting torn by both, very harshly, literally getting ripped to shreds, it would have been acceptable. It would have had longer legs. Marshmallow, AVP is good popcorn flick. It is. If it's on TV, I'm watching it. Vasi, AVP Requiem was absolute trash. There is still some elements in that I do like. Everyone likes the Wolf Predator. The fact that you see Yalcha Prime for just a few moments. You see that the Wolf Predator, the main Predator that comes down to clean up the mess. You see how much of a badass he is with the double blasters. Mickey Rourke, that's the one. You got it, Mark. Thanks. Mano, then again, AVPR, what the hell was that with Dark? Didn't see jack shite. Yeah. Couldn't see anything. I did like the crossbreeding of the Pred Alien, but I think they had to push the story on, so they had to kind of make it a queen Pred Alien and impregnate humans through the mouth. It was a bit strange. The Fighter is more about drugs, I think. I'm sure that was about the Wrestler, where you see the Mickey Rourke character, forgot his name, get steroids. Mano, they should cast Melissa McCarthy as Queen Alien. I don't know, has she lost a bit of weight? Is that the one I'm thinking? The one from the reboot of Ghostbusters? Yeah, let's not talk about that. Mano, I love Pred Alien in AVPR. Only good part. It did look okay. I think they should have made it a bit bigger. I don't know. That something was off about it. It looked okay. I think they could have made it a bit bigger. Try and make it look more of a queen. I don't know. But again, you couldn't see much of it because everything was just so dark. Mano, she's still fat, like Grease foreign debt. Oh. Oh. We're not supposed to know about that, are we? It's supposed to be hush-hush, isn't it? Christian Bale, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Vasi. What a handsome man who ruined his face. He did it himself. He did it onto himself. It's like when he played was it Hank in Sin City? It's like, did they need to put much prosthetics on him? They pretty much just give him a haircut, and he's like, there you go. Hang on. Vasi says, "Goddamn, savage." Now, I think that's to do with what's her name, Melissa McCarthy. But I mean, when it comes to the Queen, you know, in here, there's only one Queen in the chat at the minute, and it's Queen V. Queen V is literally everywhere at the minute. She goes into everyone's streams. She's very supportive. Isn't Melissa McCarthy 9.5 weeks? I don't know. Is she pregnant? I have no idea. I don't keep up with celebrity. Really don't keep up with celebrity. What's this? Mark, love Sin City. Such a good movie. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It's intertwining stories that, like, you know, they come together. I did enjoy it. I haven't seen the second one. After all these years, I've not seen the second one. I might need to watch it whenever I feel up for it. Vasi, Burt Reynolds ruined his face as well. Yeah. I think the last film I saw him in was the remake of The Longest Yard. I don't remember seeing him in anything else. Mano, Mercury. I don't know what that's in reference to. Vasi, multitasking. So, she's multitasking. Mano, Brad Pitt's still got a lovely face. Yeah. Some people just, well, apparently men grow more distinct, don't they? They grow more handsome. That's not working for me because I think for the past 10 years, I've not changed. It's like my body's holding on to that Peter Pan gene. It's clutching onto it. It's like, don't grow old. I see all my old school buddies from back in junior school that are bald, grey hair, looking old, and I look at myself thinking, what's going on here? What have I been eating? Shall I go back to? Let's go back to that. Or shall I put my face on for the next few minutes? Okay, I'll put my face on. 3, 2, 1. Boom. So it's been an hour and 3 minutes, and only now I show my this ugly mug. I can get rid of this now, can't I? How do I get rid of this? Just get off. Hey, there we go. So I'm back, and girlfriend got me a new computer chair, so I can swivel. Woohoo! I can spin around. Hey. Oh, fancy. What about if I stand up? You can see that I've put here. I put my ninja outfit over the top because it was red and black. So I thought, I'll stick that on because it just fits. Cobra's chair. Boss. Right, I'm going to ask now, again, 1 to 10, going back to this concept. 1 to 10, what do you think of this second part of this concept? Have I left it on a cliffhanger enough for you to come back for the third? A third part? Pretty sick, good addition. Yeah. Mano, 10 out of 10. I enjoyed. Thanks, Mano. 8.5. How dare you, Mark? Well, you did come in late, so you didn't really hear the beginning, did you? Vasi, 10. I really enjoyed the story. Enjoying the story. Thank you. So there's a reason why I have to split these up, because I can't keep on these streams for 4 hours. It's too much. I've got to split them up. And to try and get my concept over, I need to add that detail. It needs to be added so you know where I'm coming from and why things are in place, especially when it comes to the twist. And in the third part, the Queen makes an appearance. Not Queen V. No, not you. Sorry. the Queen xenomorph, and you're going to see in all of her glory. And I do try to give her her big moment. Marshmallow, 10 out of 10. Thank you. We need more music from village people. What are you trying to say? If I have any music on this stream, it will get taken down. Even though I'm not earning anything, companies can still take it, and then I don't know if they can make money from it. I don't know how it works. But I'm not here to make money. I'm here just to get my ideas across. I mean, I don't put videos on here. I don't make videos and then put them on to try and gain followers or enough followers to then earn from YouTube. It's kind of not why I'm here. I could probably get that far if I'm wanted, if people want movies, but I mean, I just don't have that patience. I'd rather just talk. And even if I haven't got any sort of movies to talk about, especially when it comes to my own concepts, I'd like to think that I could come on and talk about anything, and the people could just come in and just throw stuff at me and go, what do you think about this? And then talk about this. And I can actually have people on if they want to chat. So I think after the part 3, I'll see how I feel, and then I'll see if I can get people on if they want to talk about anything. I mean, I know there's people in our Mortal Kombat group on Twitter that want to talk about Mortal Kombat. So I'll see whoever wants to come on from our group, and we'll have a bit of a discussion, bit of a talk about Mortal Kombat. I'll get a cameo, yes. Well, giving you a shout out, people can watch your video now. You say it's up so people can watch Vasi's first ever YouTube video. She's trying to make her way. YMCA will be taken down by the DMCA. Yeah. So I don't want people nicking my videos. These are my videos. These are my concepts. But if people want to, it's like I do this in the off chance that it will reach the right ear, and it can get pushed on and then spread, and eventually, if it gets to the right person, it can be taken on as something legitimate, be it film or a comic. It would be cool if someone could take this concept and make a comic, and of course I'd want some royalties, but it'd be your drawing, it'd be your take on my concept. But it'd be really cool to have something made of this. Same with the Riddick X Predator. It'd be cool just to have a comic made if someone's literally got the patience for it. I just want to talk about media I like. I'm the same. Yeah. You know what you're talking about, especially when it comes to Lord of the Rings. I remember you taking down that guy on Ellie Moses' stream. You took him down in the was it the Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings, and whatever he come up with, you stopped him and you took him over, and you took the whole stream over. It wasn't the Ellie Moses stream; it was the Queen V stream. We need more Trotter brothers. Is that Trotter? Is that Only Fools and Horses? Is that where you're getting that from? Am I getting that right? Vasily, thanks for the shout out. You're so kind. Well, you do promote me on Twitter, so I've got to promote you back. How long have I been on? An hour and 10 minutes, so I'm not going to be long now. So I'm gauging that everyone's kind of liking these this concept of an AVP movie that is not connected to the other AVP movies. It's a totally different new concept. You can't even call it a spin-off because it's still part of the AVP universe. So I can't call it a spin-off because it's not really connected to the original movies. It's its own movie, its own AVP movie. We're going off a different direction, a different part of the universe, which could spur other AVP concepts, different scenarios. Yeah, 3 wheels van. Yeah. Mark, F yes. I'll try not to swear. I've probably swore, but I can't remember. I'll try not to this time. So, right. Everyone likes, so far, the concept. I hope I've left it on a bit of a cliffhanger where the Yautja is now surrounded by xenomorph, ready to do battle. He's ready. He's got that confidence. He feels the confidence in his instincts. He's ready for it, and hopefully this time I can close it off in the third straight, the part 3. Hopefully I can close it off without going too far. I know I've gone half an hour over this time, but it would have been too much. It's too much to remember. I mean, I've got all of this that I've had to read, go through. I'm going to bullet points and adding things in between. I've done some sketches, so I'll be putting them on. I'll be putting them on my Twitter soon, which is what you can see right there. I'll be putting them up, and hopefully you will like them, and anyone can share them. And then if there's people that can go over them and enhance them, or they can do what they want with them, then they're going to be on there. People can change them and do whatever. I still have the originals. They're mine. They're my concepts. But I'll allow people to make them better and see what they can do with them. It'd be interesting to see if they do. So there you go. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to finish off my freezing cold chai latte. That's me. And next week, we'll see if we can close this off. And then the following week, I will do a Mortal Kombat. Anything to do with Mortal Kombat, I'll try and get people in to come in and talk with me. And we could just talk about anything Mortal Kombat. Rumors for the film. Characters and what we like, what we don't like, things like that. Bit of a change. I don't want to keep this channel just strictly for my concepts. It's fair, literally anything. So we'll try and expand. So I'll thank everyone for coming, and everyone that will watch this. Lovely. I'm glad that people are liking this and staying. They're literally staying. So I'm not boring you. Gotta keep the energy high. You should do gaming stream like Mr. H. I don't game. It's at the minute I work full time and I literally have to travel nearly 2 hours a day, 6 buses because I don't drive. So I leave this place, I leave my home at around about 5:30 in the morning, and then I don't get back here till round about 5 o'clock, 5:30 again. So I'm literally out the whole day, and that's like working all day and then traveling back, and then I've got to get my work clothes off, and I've got to go for a shower, and then I've got to have something to eat. So I barely have time to do any games. The only time I play games is when I've got my son on the weekends, and he likes to play Roblox, and he forces me to play Roblox with him. So he plays on the Xbox while I play on the computer. That's the only time I play games. So there you go. Well, Mark, thanks, man. Have a good one. Nice one, Mark. I'll see you on the Twitters. Vasi, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Mano, all about the 1995 movie. We'll talk about that. We'll get into anything and whatever anyone has. If anyone has a subject, we'll try and get to it. So it'll be interesting. Not next week. It'll be the next week after that, because I do need to close off this this AVP concept. I do need to close it off. But I want to make it seem a little epic, because I've done a drawing. I've already done a drawing that shows the Queen and what she does. Well, I'm not going to show that yet. That'll be shown next week. So there you go. So I'm going to let everybody go now. So thanks everyone for coming. Hopefully see you next week. Hopefully you'll follow me on Twitter, where I'm going to put these drawings up soon. And I will see you next time. Your view is mine. See you next week. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye, everybody.